It's time for Mornings at 8 with Jonathan Mark on AM 1480 WLEA.
Well, yes, it is time for Mornings at 8, and here we are on a Thursday, practically Friday. One more little day, and there's the weekend and Yahoo! Oh, coming up this weekend, I guess the Arkport Summerfest might have some good weather this weekend. It's, of course, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And as you heard Rob Carolyn there's a kind of a chance of showers Friday, but Saturday and Sunday are looking pretty good. So it might be really nice weather for the Summerfest at Arkport. That's nice. And as I mentioned earlier this week, the theme this year for the Arkport Summerfest is they're fighting cancer. So this year, Summerfest is fighting all types of cancer. So you should help them remember who are those who have lost the fight, celebrate those who have won the fight, and fight with those who are currently fighting. So they encourage all vendors, participants, and anyone attending any time during the weekend to participate in fighting cancer with them. And let me see, this year's fireworks show is being sponsored by the Arkport Summerfest 5K Walk and Run and Crowley Foods. And the Summerfest parade will be start at 11 o'clock on Saturday. It'll start in front of the Arkport Central School. Lineup start at 9 o'clock. So if you want to find out more about the Arkport Summerfest, and boy, do they have some yard sales, always good. They have a Facebook page called Arkport Summerfest, and there you go. Well, let me see. The last couple of days, matter of fact, Rush yesterday dedicated his entire show to this, which I think is a little teeny bit overdone, but that's Rush. Megan Rapinoe. She, of course, is the darling of the soccer world, and she's captain in the Women's World Cup winning soccer team. Great team, absolutely great team. She is a very, very good player. She is the best. So as far as soccer goes, it doesn't get any better than the women's soccer team. And I heard, I think on Matt Ray yesterday, that the men's soccer team is rated 34th in the world. 34th. Now, that's hardly anything worth celebrating. Like, yay, hey, we're number 34. We're number 35. That doesn't really sound all too good. Now, the women's soccer team is number 1. And Megan Rapinoe is probably, one of the main reasons why they are. She's a really, really good soccer player. But I wonder what kind of a role model it is. What kind of a role model has a potty mouth like that? I don't understand that. If I was going to have a role model for a daughter, as far as soccer goes, yeah, play soccer like this Megan Rapinoe and all of her teammates. Right, very, very good. But wow, you really got to watch that mouth. Or maybe that's what our culture has become, or is slowly or rapidly becoming. She was on live TV yesterday in New York City, and she used a very bad word. Really, it doesn't really get much worse than this, okay? New York City, you're the very, very, very bad word greatest. I don't know if it's a word or a phrase. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, you don't talk like that on live TV. You just don't. And you shouldn't. So doesn't she understand that she has become, a role model? And I don't know, maybe I'm just old-fashioned. I know I am. I'm positively sure I'm old-fashioned. But I don't think a role model really ought to speak like that. Especially not on live TV, Anyway, so, yeah, Rush went on for like 3 hours yesterday, and that's fine. Okay, there was a very interesting poll. How do people think of these things? This is some website called The Score. Poll finds Rapinoe would beat Trump in 2020 election. Okay, let's see here. And this is from, as I said, The Score. Megan Rapinoe, who led the United States to its record fourth Women's World Cup triumph, might like her chances if she ever decided to go head-to-head with Donald Trump in 2020. After public policy polling revealed she would have a slight edge to succeed him as the country's next president. Who did they poll? Who on earth did they poll? It doesn't say who they polled. No, it doesn't. As a matter of fact, it doesn't say. or what asylum they were polling in. Anyway, public policy polling, a Democrat firm, found that the 34-year-old would beat the 45th president of the United States in a race, saying, "We found that Rapinoe gets 42% to 41% for Trump." The firm which conducted the poll, quote, "by popular demand," added their findings suggested Rapinoe's advantage could increase over time. That'd be fun. I would say go for it. Run her. I think that's a great idea. That's absolutely dynamite. In addition to having a slight edge over Trump already, Rapinoe has a lot more room for growth. The voters who were undecided in the Rapinoe-Trump head-to-head voted for Hillary Clinton by 58 points. Okay. And just 8% of them approve of the job Trump is doing, to about 8 in 10 who disapprove. I wonder who they polled. Once again, I don't know. They're likely undecided, either because they're not familiar with Rapinoe, how could you not be, or aren't sure about her as a presidential candidate. But given their past voting history and feelings about Trump, it seems unlikely that they'll end up in his camp. Okay, let me see. Now, that's what she did. As I said, a great soccer player. I mean, it doesn't get any better, and that's all there is to it, you know. So there we have it. Oh, she also famously said that she wasn't going to the very, very, very bad word White House. So, okay, that's her, and that's probably the last I will ever even think about her or anything like that. Okay, speaking about kind of odd creatures, here we go. Man pleads guilty to stealing endangered lemur after breaking into California Zoo. And this guy, there's a picture of him here, and it looks like he belongs in a zoo, at least. Dateline, this is from USA Today. This is Dateline is Palm Springs. Many people leave the zoo with a souvenir in tow, whether a stuffed elephant or cute little keychain from the gift shop. But Aquinas Casbar didn't settle for a stuffed animal, authorities said. Instead, he chose North America's oldest living ring-tailed lemur, Isaac, and broke out of the Santa Ana Zoo after hours to steal the endangered animal, according to authorities. Casbar, 19, of Newport Beach, California, pleaded guilty on Monday to unlawfully taking an endangered species. And right now, let me see, he's in jail, I think. Yeah, I believe he is in jail. Anyway, let me see here. So he faces a $100,000 fine and up to a year in federal prison. Okay, according to Casbar's plea agreement, he broke into the Santa Ana Zoo on July 27th, 2018, right? 2018, he's still in jail. Wow. Using a pair of bolt cutters to get into the zoo's enclosures for lemurs and capuchin monkeys. Several of the animals initially escaped, though zookeepers and animal control officers were able to recover most of them. In the chaos, Casbar took 32-year-old Isaac. He was a lemur, 32 years. I didn't know they lived that long. Matter of fact, I'm not even sure what a lemur is. There's a photograph with a cute little guy, and it looks like a cross between a monkey of sorts and a raccoon or something. But anyway, so that's what a lemur is. So, where was I? Anyway, so he stole 32-year-old Isaac, so he kidnapped him. I mean, he kidnapped a lemur. He wanted to keep him as a pet, and he put him in a plastic drawer without ventilation holes for the rest of the evening after he kidnapped him, or lemur napped him. And the next day, he left the lemur in front of a Marriott hotel in Newport Beach and placed 2 notes on top of the plastic drawer that read, "Lemur with tracker." I don't know what that means. And this belongs to the Santa Ana Zoo. It was taken last night. Please take it to local authorities. So Isaac was now this is the lemur. You got to keep these two straight, because you have a photograph of Mr. Casbar here, and then you have a photograph of Isaac here, and it looks like if I had a choice of a next door neighbor, I think I'd choose the lemur. I don't think I want Casbar living next door. He looks like he's about 3/4 of the way to Mars. Anyway, so where were we? Yes, that's right. So Isaac was eventually returned to the zoo unharmed, but Casbar's actions put a member of one of the 25 most endangered primate species in danger and resulted in a loss of approximately $8,486 to the Santa Ana Zoo, according to federal prosecutors. I would just emphasize that my client quickly regretted his actions, said his lawyer, and took action that night to ensure that the lemur was returned safely to the zoo. Okay, and also he was charged with this guy's an idiot. He had 5 burglaries, more burglaries elsewhere. He stole jewelry, other valuable items, and so he's a real jerk. So this was the Casbah, and as I said, you can't. It's okay. The lemur is the one with the tail. Okay, that's about all I could say about that. So if you're going to steal anything, don't steal a 32-year-old lemur, I guess. Okay, what else have we here? We have got a bunch this morning. I mean, a lot. How about the roller coaster? This is summer, right? And lots of amusement parks, lots of roller coasters. Well, not everybody likes roller coasters. I do. But not everybody does. But a lot of people do, and they've been around a long time. As a matter of fact, they've been around a really long time. I will go anywhere for a news story. This is from Popular Mechanics. But apparently, a roller coaster, or a variation thereof, has been around for 600 years. And you're going, 600 years? Well, let me see. Unchanged. Okay. Roller coasters, it says here, were at first made of ice, which to me kind of sounds like a bobsled run or a luge run or something. Tracing their roots to 15th century Russia, these middle-aged thrill machines were giant wooden structures with frozen-over ramps. People slid down on blocks of ice. Unsurprisingly, accidents were commonplace. Yeah? Here's a quote. I was terrified out of my wits for fear to go down, for I had the dread of breaking my neck, reads one account. And still the slides were extremely popular. They became so fashionable with nobility that lighted torches were installed so people could slide at night. So they had a variation, of a roller coaster-y type thing in 15th century Russia. Wow. And by the late 18th century, carriages with wheels were added to keep the thrills going in the warmer summer months. And by the early 19th century, the idea had emigrated across Europe. The French devised their own gravity-driven rides. These early coasters made one significant improvement by locking the car's wheels into the tracks via carved grooves, keeping the cars from derailing. That was probably a really good idea. In America, the roller coaster had more working-class origins. In 1827, industrialist Josiah White built a cheap, long, 2-parallel track railway in Pennsylvania's Lehigh Valley to haul the region's coal. Primarily using only the natural landscape and gravity, the carts flew down the tracks at top speeds of about 50 miles an hour. This simple system was a marvel that attracted many tourists eager to ride it. For decades, the Mauch-Chunk Switchback Railway transported coal in the morning and carried tourists in the afternoon. And by the 1870s, it became a full-time tourist attraction with thousands of thrill seekers a day riding the mile-and-a-half track. And the popularity of Mauch-Chunk Switchback Railway inspired other similar attractions across the country in the 1870s and 1880s, hopefully with easier names. Patents included John G. Taylor's Incline Railway and Allison Wood's Circular Railway. That sounds almost like the name of a group, doesn't it? Now appearing Allison Wood's Circular Railway? Or maybe not. Anyway, which both depict entertaining variations of the switchback. It's believed the phrase roller coaster came from Philo Stevens' 1884 patent describing a roller coasting device built in Chicago. And anyway, so it goes on and on and on. But roller coasters have been around for a long time. Or as I said, variations. So, maybe it didn't start out exactly as a roller coaster. So it started out as sort of a bobsled track or something, and people riding down on chunks of ice in 15th century Russia. I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, it's a really nice, if you, let me see, Walt Disney. Walt Disney had a lot to do with the evolution of the roller coaster. If you remember, maybe you've been to Disneyland in Anaheim, in California, the Matterhorn. Well, the Matterhorn had a lot to do with advanced technology in making roller coasters. So anyway, it's kind of neat. And some of these roller coasters, man, let me see. By the 1990s, riders were being inverted, flown while standing up, and launched 0 to 54 miles an hour in seconds using magnetic fields. So you take high tech and then you add all this speed and height. I mean, roller coasters now are huge. I mean, absolutely huge. It's kind of neat. It really is. Oh, wow. Oopie. I see we have a break coming up. But first, that's right. I must mention insurance. And if you're going to go riding roller coasters, I think insurance would be a good idea. Well, how about the Ryan agencies? You can't really do any better than that. The Ryan agencies have insurance offices in Hornell, Jasper, and Wellsville. They are your local independent insurance agency. You can save smart on your insurance with the Ryan agencies. And why the Ryan agencies? Why an independent agents like the Ryan agencies? Well, the Ryan agencies, where they do the insurance shopping for you, it's like having your own personal insurance shopper. And they're really knowledgeable and are awfully nice people. They offer sound, unbiased advice. They're friendly. They're local. They're insurance experts. They are the Ryan agencies.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
News from the NBA, where the details of the Kawhi Leonard contract with the LA Clippers reportedly has the Finals MVP agreeing on a 3-year deal worth $103.1 million. It includes a player option after the second year. That means that Leonard, along with new star teammate Paul George, who the Clippers also just acquired, will be eligible to be free agents together in 2021. That's when George's 4-year deal he signed last season with the Oklahoma City Thunder can expire. George also has a player option in his final year. College basketball, the NCAA delivered a notice of allegations against the North Carolina State men's basketball program. These are level 1 violations. They occurred under former head coach Mark Gottfried, now the head coach at Cal State Northridge, and these allegations could jeopardize his current job status with that school. In tennis at Wimbledon, Hall of Famers Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, and Roger Federer all advanced to the Wimbledon semis for the first time since 2007. Nadal and Federer will go head-to-head in the semifinals.
From the Fox Business Network, General Electric and its unions will likely be returning to the bargaining table. The Wall Street Journal says the majority of total votes approved a new 4-year contract, but enough local unions voted against the deal to keep it from being ratified. Mazda is recalling more than 260,000 SUVs and cars in the U.S. The New York Post says a software issue could cause engines to stall without warning. The recall involves Mazda 6 sedans, CX-5 SUVs, and Mazda 3s from the 2018 or 19 model years. Stocks closed higher yesterday after Fed Chair Jerome Powell appeared to indicate the Fed is ready to cut interest rates this month if necessary. The Dow added 76, the Nasdaq was up 60, and the S&P was up 13. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section and after Dad's back injury. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Trouble with opioids can start at home with unused medicines such as pills, patches, and syrups. You can remove the risk and protect your family. Find out how at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
New to golf or seasoned veteran, you'll enjoy the casual, relaxed atmosphere of Vanderview Golf Course. 2 miles from downtown Alfred on Waterwells Road, Vanderview is a 9-hole executive-length golf course with a driving range on one side of the road and the course on the other. Family-friendly and fun recreation for everyone. Greens fees are one price for unlimited play, $9.50. High school students, only $5. Children 12 and under with an adult, no charge. You can play up to 18 holes or 9 holes with a cart and get the second 9 holes at no additional charge. Ladies and senior golfers who don't hit the long ball, Vanderview's got the executive length that's just right for your game. And new this year, a season pass for only $100. That's a lot of golfing fun for a very little bit of money. Vanderview Golf Course, 2 miles from downtown Alfred on Waterwells Road. Vanderview Golf Course.
Today at Simmons Rockwell Ford. Drive away in a new Ford F-150 lease for only $339 a month. A new 2019 F-150 STX Crew Cab 4x4 equipped with a 2.7 V6 EcoBoost engine, running boards, 20-inch alloy wheels. Lease with no money down and Ford Trade Assist for $339 a month for 36 months. Only tax and DMV fees are due at signing. Shop Simmons-Rockwell.com.
And we're back. Okay, everybody needs a friend, right? Everybody needs a friend. And here's a gentleman who lives in Texas, and this is from The Dodo. I think that's a great site. It's all about animals. Guy decides to make special popsicles for his local turtles. All right. As the 4th of July holiday was approaching, a guy who loves the outdoors and lives near Houston, Texas, wanted to figure out a way to give his wild friends a special treat. So he came up with popsicles. In the neighborhood Kyle Nageli calls home, there's a pond where a bunch of turtles live, it says here, and Nageli often visits them. He probably, if you need a social life, okay, fine. Turtles are quiet, you know. I was brainstorming about how to include the turtles in celebrating the 4th of July, Nageli told The Dodo. I wanted to give them red, white, and blue popsicles, but keep their natural diet in consideration. So he decided to mix up juicy red strawberries, shad, that's a white silver-colored fish, and blueberries. And then he topped it off with pond water and put it in the freezer. After a few hours, he was ready to test the results, not himself, but the turtles. So filming the moment the popsicles were offered to the turtles with one hand and holding the popsicle with the other, Nageli watched as one of the turtles came out of the water and stared at the patriotic snack for a moment. And then he dove right in, the turtle, taking a big, huge bite of it. And he has his stuff. There's a video. And this turtle is really loving those little popsicle things. And so more turtles came over. Now he's feeding all these turtles with these 4th of July patriotic popsicles. Matter of fact, it's on YouTube, and over 5 million people have watched this thing since it was posted on Independence Day. So there you go, patriotic popsicles for turtles, and it's all good. Okay, that's it for this show. I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I know we have there's something going on, so there you go. I'll see you Monday. Bye.